Welcome to the Advanced Configuration in 30 Minutes LangShop tutorial. In this tutorial, I will get you through the whole process of an advanced setup of your LangShop translated theme using my demo store as an example. First, I want to know how to customize my language switcher to make it look nice and how I can make it a useful and convenient tool. To customize my language switcher, I go to Settings and open the Languages section. On the Languages page, I click Switchers and choose the one I want to customize. The Edit Switcher page opens. Here I can change the type of my switcher. There are 5 types available: Drop-down, Modal, Inline, Select, and iOS, created with mobile devices in mind. In the drop-down menu, I will choose the type I want and click Save. If I want to change the shape of my switcher's icon, I can go to Switcher Icon Type, click the drop-down menu, and choose one of the 4 shapes available: rounded, circle, square, or rectangle. I'll choose the square type. By enabling Use Pre-designed CSS for Switcher, I make it nicely styled with the LangShop's default style. If I disable it, the switcher will get back to its original style. Enabling Show Language Codes as Titles will display a short title. By default, the switcher displays the full title. When I want to change the position of my language switcher on the page, I go to the Switcher Position drop-down menu, where I can choose Relative, Right Bottom, Left Bottom, Right Top, or Left Top position. Setting the relative position allows me to manage the switcher's position by editing the HTML code. If I don't want an icon on my language switcher, I can set it in the Switcher Display menu. Choosing Titles will display only the titles of languages. Choosing Icons will display only the icons. The All option will display both. There is a preview window on the Edit Switcher page that helps me track all the changes while I customize my language switcher. Now, let's see what the visibility option is for. It lets me specify whether my language switcher will be visible or invisible on certain devices. Suppose I want my language switcher to have modal type on desktop computers and iOS type on smartphones and tablets. To do that, I need to create another switcher, set a different type, and appropriately adjust visibility for each of them. For one switcher, I will choose the iOS type and visibility on smartphones and tablets. For another one, I will choose the modal type and visibility on desktop computers only. Now my language switcher will look differently on different types of devices. Each theme localized by the LangShop application contains code snippets that help you change the position of the language and currency switchers, add a new switcher, convert the prices to your active currency, display final prices in an appropriate currency format, and use multilingual images. Use the snippet if you want your switcher to be displayed someplace other than the default positions. When and how to use a switcher shortcode, I will explain in the next step. Now, when I have my language switcher set and adjusted, I can enable or disable it. To disable it, I can go to Settings, Languages, Switchers, click on the switcher I want to disable to open the Edit Switcher page, and click Disable. Let's say I want to change the flag icon and the title on my English language switcher. By default, it has the icon of the flag of England and the title English. I want to change this flag icon to the US flag icon and change the title to English US. I go to Settings, Languages, and in the original language box click on the English title. When the cursor is over the flag icon, the suggestion window appears, which suggests the dimensions of the flag icon. I click the flag icon. In the gallery window, I can choose the icon or upload it from my computer. In the title field, I add US to the existing English title and click Save. Perfect! Now my English language switcher has a new look. If I want to let my customers see the prices in their local currency, I can add a currency switcher to my store and customize it the same way I customized my language switcher. Before adding a currency switcher, I need to add the appropriate currencies. Let's go to the Settings and open the Currencies section. I click Add and select the currency. I've just added a new currency. My store doesn't have a currency switcher yet. Let's add it. I go to Settings and open the Currencies section. Under the title Currencies, I click Switchers and add New Switcher. I wanted my currency switcher to look nice and neat and to be in harmony with my store's design, so I decided to add it to my main menu and make it look like the menu items. For convenience, I will name my currency switcher Main Menu. For the switcher type, I choose Modal. Show language codes as titles I leave enabled. And I want to display only a title without a flag icon. So I choose Titles in the Switcher Display drop-down menu. Switcher position must be relative, otherwise the switcher will not be placed close to my main menu. I copy the switcher's shortcode and save my currency switcher by clicking Save. Now I need to go to my Shopify admin, click Online Store and choose Navigation. On the navigation page, I open the main menu page by clicking on its name, then click Add Menu Item. In the name field of the opened window, I paste my currency switcher shortcode. In the link field, I type a #sign and choose it in the drop-down menu by clicking on it. Then I click Add and Save Menu. My new menu item has been saved. Let's see how my currency switcher looks on the page. Looks awesome and works perfectly. I can disable my currency switcher by going to Settings, Currencies, Switchers, Main Menu Switcher, and clicking Disable. What if I want to add a currency symbol to my currency switcher? I go to Settings, Currencies, Switchers, and in the Switcher Icon Pack drop-down menu, choose Currencies Symbols. And in the Switcher Display field, I choose All. Then I click Save. Now my currency switcher's icon has a currency symbol. By default, the LangShop app detects the customer's browser language and automatically displays your store in that language. If your store hasn't been translated into this language, the customer will see the original language of your store. LangShop allows me to set the type of detection for the original and target languages of my store. Let's see how it works. I go to Settings, click Languages and Mapping. There are three types of detection available: store language, browser language, and visitor's country. Store language. On his first visit, the customer will see my Shopify store in its original language. It doesn't matter in what country he opens my web store in his browser. For example, if the original language of my store is French, all visitors will see it in French. They will be able to change the language by using a language switcher. Browser language. This option allows me to link a target language to the browser languages. On their first visit, my customers will see the content in the language that was linked to their browser languages. For example, my customer's browser language is Luxembourgish. Since my store doesn't have a Luxembourgish version, when this customer opens it in his browser, he will be redirected to the original language, which is English. Suppose I want him to see the French version instead of English. To set it, I choose French as the target language, then I choose one or several browser languages, which will be linked to the target language. I will choose the Luxembourgish. Now all customers whose browser language is Luxembourgish will see my store in French. You can add several browser languages to one target language. The visitors with those browser languages will see a Shopify store in the target language. Visitor country, or detect by location. This option allows me to link one target language to different countries. At first visit, a customer will see the content in the language which I linked to his country. For instance, the original language of my store is French, and it also has the English version. I want the users from China and Japan on their first visit to see my store not in its original language, but in English. I choose the language, click Add, and choose the countries. In my example, those are China and Japan. In the countries that you link to a target language, the customers will always see your store in this language, regardless of the browser language. However, the customer can switch the language manually using a language switcher, and the LangShop app will save his last choice so that he wouldn't have to switch it again next time. For instance, the original language of my store is English, and it also has a French translation. I link French to Canada to let the customers in Canada see the store in French on the first visit. Translating images. Very often, there are products in your store with different options to choose from. Let's say I have a new product. It's a t-shirt with the inscription, and it has different variants with the inscription in different languages. I want my foreign customer to see this t-shirt with the inscription on his native language. First of all, I need to add this product to my store. In the Shopify admin, I go to Products and click Add Product. My new product has been added to the store, but it hasn't been translated yet. I go to the LangShop admin, choose Product, find my new I Love LangShop t-shirt, choose it by clicking its checkbox, click Actions, Translate selected, choose needed languages, and click Translate. My new product has been translated into French, Arabic, and Chinese Taiwan. Now I will translate the image of my t-shirt into the languages available in my Shopify store. I open the products page. Note that we can translate the product image only into one language at a time. I choose Arabic, go to Product Images, click the image, and upload the Arabic version of my t-shirt. To translate my t-shirt's image into other languages, I will repeat these steps. Please note that if you want all translated versions of your product look the same, you need to make sure that all of its images have the same dimensions. Now, when my Arabic, French, and Chinese customers switch the language of my store to their own, they will see my t-shirt with the inscription in their native language. If I added alternative text to my image, I can translate it too. Note that you can translate the product's content and edit its translation manually. Just choose the desired language, enter your translation, and save changes. Now I can see that most of my product's content has been translated, but the image of the size table in the product description is the same for all translations. What if I want my French customers, for example, to see this table in French? On the product page, I choose the target language. In my example, it's French. Then go to the description section of the text editor, delete the original size table, find the gallery button, and click on it. Here I choose the image of my French size table from the gallery or upload it. Now I click Save. That's it. The size table has been translated. I can repeat these steps for any language. Let's see how it looks in my store. Thanks to LangShop, even the images in the product description can be translated. The same way I can translate images in product collections and articles. Find and translate static content. Static content is the text block included by developers to the code of the theme manually. LangShop doesn't translate this type of content automatically, because it doesn't have access to the static text. You have to translate this type of content manually. Let's see how to make the static text of the theme multilingual. Sometimes there are situations when theme developers don't use theme localization for including text blocks in their theme. Instead of that, they leave static words or text constructions in the theme, which can only be changed in the theme code. While creating a translated theme, LangShop creates an opportunity to translate these static text blocks with a simple interface on the admin side. This feature is called static translation, and it's available only for the theme that has been translated. To translate the static text, I need to go to Themes. In the Current Theme section, I press the Localization button and choose Static. The LangShop application searches for the static text in my Shopify store. The analysis of files goes automatically, and it takes some time. Now, under the Search Files field, I can see my themes files with the static text items. In my case, there's only one file, but there can be more. I'm going to click on its name. The theme static page opens. Here I can see the list of fields with the static text, which I can translate. On my list, I can only see the proper nouns like Facebook and Twitter, and they are not to be translated. But for demonstration purposes, let me pick one of them and translate it. I'll translate the word Facebook into Chinese. I choose Chinese language, go to the field with the static text Facebook, and click the translation icon. In the Translation Suggestions pop-up window, I can choose one of the several suggestions and click Apply. That's it. The static text in this field for Chinese has been translated. Don't forget to save changes. Find and translate dynamic content. Dynamic content is content added by third-party applications. The LangShop app doesn't translate this type of content automatically because it doesn't have access to dynamic content. This means that you will have to translate it manually. While working with your store, you might install different apps, which increase its functionality. These apps might create some additional dynamic content on the pages, for example chats, banners, modal windows, counters, etc. I have a product review application, which shows customer reviews on a product page. The LangShop app will translate this kind of content. First of all, I need to let the LangShop app find dynamic content. I go to the Online Store section. The Themes page opens by default. In the Current Theme section, I click Localization, then I click Dynamic Text. the theme dynamic page appears. To create a new translation of dynamic content, I click Add. Now the theme dynamic page opens. In the Words section, I see the fields where the original text, the previous character, and the next character should be entered. The original text is the text that I want to be translated. I can copy it on my products page and paste it in the original text field. The previous character and the next character fields are intended to specify where the text is located on my store page markup. They help to narrow down the search area and avoid unnecessary replacements. To find the previous character and the next character, I will use my browser's developer console. I go to the page with my dynamic text, click the right mouse button on it, and from the drop-down menu choose Inspect. In the Appeared Page console, I click Select an element in the page to inspect it, go to my dynamic text and click on it. Now I can see my dynamic text and its previous and next symbols in the code. As a rule, it's an HTML tag, so I should type the greater than symbol in the previous character field and the less than symbol in the next character field. I know that the product review app uses JavaScript to add content to the page, so I can uncheck dynamic translation on Liquid's rendering level in the Levels of Dynamic Translation section to optimize the technical side of translation. If you're not sure how your third-party application works, just leave both checked. If my dynamic element appears on the different pages of my store, but I want it to be translated only on particular pages, I can choose the templates where I want the LangShop app to search for dynamic content. In the Search in Templates box, I click Edit and select the needed templates. I choose Products and click Select, then I click Save. After saving it, the Theme Dynamic single page appears. Above my dynamic text, I can see the language tabs and the priority box. By choosing priority, I tell the LangShop app in what order the text should be found and replaced. It's important because the wrong sequence can corrupt the translation. Suppose I need to translate the phrase dynamic text and the word text. If the word text is translated first, it will be translated in the phrase dynamic text too. Consequently, when I start translating the phrase dynamic text, the LangShop app will not find and translate it because the word text has already been found and translated, and the phrase dynamic text doesn't exist anymore. This is why it's necessary to set priorities. The higher the number in the priority box, the higher the position of the dynamic text on the replacement list. The longer the text, the higher the priority. In most cases, this rule will prevent incorrect replacements. To translate the dynamic text, I click Auto Translation, choose the languages in the pop-up menu, and click Translate. The translation will take some time. Let's see the result. Nice and neat. But as you might have noticed, there's still some untranslated dynamic content. I will repeat the procedure to finish the translation. After I finish the translation, all translated dynamic text will appear as a list on the theme dynamic page. I can open and edit each one of them. Now I will go and check the product page. Perfect. Everything has been translated. Theme section. To translate all the elements of your store, you should check Theme Settings and Theme Localization. These sections allow translating such types of content like banners, checkout, modal windows, etc. Let's see how to translate Theme Localization and Theme Settings. Theme Localization. If the translated theme supports internationalizing using local files, you can edit the localization for each language using Theme Localization, the interface of which is the extended functionality of the language editor of Shopify. In the LangShop admin, let's go to Online Store, Themes. In the current theme section, I click Localization, then choose and click Localization in the drop-down menu. The Theme Locals page opens. Here I see the fields that can be translated. Please note that the system fields such as date formats might not be translated correctly. I would recommend to check the theme settings and translate these fields manually. I can translate all theme locals into all languages at once by clicking Auto-Translate under the Theme Locals title, or I can choose each target language and each field individually. For demonstration purposes, I will translate all locals into all languages at once. I can edit locals and remove all translations by going to the More Actions menu item. The localization section has a filter. I can use it to search for some particular items. I can select the filter by clicking on the filter button or type the name of the item in the search field, and LangShop will show me a list of items containing this name. Translate Theme Settings. Every theme has its settings. The settings can be translated by LangShop into several languages. For example, you can translate the dynamic elements used by the themes, such as banners, to display different information. Note that theme developers often use theme settings for some kind of functionality in a theme. For example, the connection of the drop-down menu items with the parent menu could be implemented through the menu handle, which can be edited in the theme settings. The translation of this setting will influence the way the navigation menu of your store displays. Let's translate the theme settings. I will click the online store in the menu. The themes page opens by default. I will click Localization and choose Settings. I will choose the language into which I want to translate the text and click Auto-Translate. Then I'll save my translation. Can I translate a checkout with the LangShop app? Yes. With the help of LangShop, I can translate a checkout. Two conditions must be met though. First, all the products of my store must be translated into the chosen language. I can check the translated and untranslated products in the Analytics section. Second, theme locals must be translated too. If these two conditions are met, I open my checkout and find it fully translated. No coding skills required. LangShop translates the checkout automatically without any additional actions from my side. Analytics. Well, at this point my Shopify store should be completely translated and localized. Now I need to check if there's anything left untranslated. I can do that by using a very helpful tool which is called Analytics. I will go to the LangShop admin and click Analytics. On the Analytics page, you'll find the statistics on translated content for all target languages. The LangShop app automatically determines the amount of translated content and displays the results in different sections on the Analytics page. It's very convenient to be able to see all the information about the translated content in one place. The Analytics tool of the LangShop app shows me how many items in each section have been translated and what percentage of content is translated into every target language. As we can see, everything has been translated into Arabic. Now let's check French. And Chinese Taiwan. Thanks to the analytics tool, no section of my Shopify store will be left untranslated. This is very important if I care about my foreign customers and want them to be comfortable while using my Shopify store. Well, this is it. My store is 100% translated and localized. And our advanced setup tutorial is over. I highly recommend to go to the home page of the LangShop, find the user guide box there, and click the Take a Look button. You will be redirected to the LangShop Help Center, help.langshop.app, where you can find frequently asked questions and a lot of other useful information. Open your Shopify store for hundreds of thousands of new customers worldwide with the help of the LangShop app.